Excuse me. Good afternoon and welcome to the January 27th, 2025 meeting of the Georgetown County Council. Please take this time to silence your cell phones so we can all be present for the information to be presented. Note for the record, we do have a quorum present. Please join us as Councilor Bishop Cooper leads us in the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Gracious and loving Father, we come before you this evening with grateful hearts for your protection and mercy through the recent weather. Thank you for keeping our community safe, for dedicated workers, our roads, our crews, the first responders. We give you thanks and glory for all that they have done. Lord, we ask your continuous hand of comfort and provision upon those who are still facing hardship all across the globe. Those without heat, shelters, or resources. Strengthen families and restore what has been lost. Unite us in a compassion so that no one in our community is left behind. This council gathered to deliberate and make decisions tonight. Guide our thoughts and words with wisdom and understanding. Let our actions reflect justice, stewardship, and love for people we serve. May peace and cooperation prevail in all we do. We place this meeting, this county, and all the community affected by the winter storm. We place it in your hand. Grant us safety, hope, and renewed strength to all. It is in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, in liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you all. Move down to the approval of agenda. Just for some housekeeping notes. Ordinance number 2601 to rezone approximately 40.49 acres located on the southern side of Kent Road, approximately 1,600 feet west of St. Delight Road in Georgetown County from forest agriculture to 6,000 square foot residential or R6 has been withdrawn at the request of the developer and is stricken from the agenda and no longer under consideration by this council. We have a long agenda. Thank you. We move to, the chair will entertain a motion to amend the agenda to move item 4F to the beginning of special presentations and reports. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
So moved by Councilor Newton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Charlton. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed? The agenda is amended. We move to the approval of the agenda. We'll call for a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
So moved by Councilor Charlton. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Morant. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? The agenda is approved as amended. We move down to special reports and presentations. We move first to the nonprofit sport spotlight. Our Winyah Auditorium, Georgetown County, and Francis P. Burnell Foundation are partnering to spotlight a local nonprofit. This week's featured nonprofit is Winyah Auditorium. Mr. Diedrich Bonds and Deborah Summey will present. Mr. Bonds, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good late afternoon, early evening, members of council. Again, Mr. Chair, Madam Administrator, and all in attendance. Thank you for the opportunity to spotlight the Winyah Auditorium. Winyah is one of Georgetown County's historic cultural landmarks and continues to serve as a vibrant community gathering space for art, culture, and civic life. And my name is Diedrich Bonds, and I proudly serve as the Executive Director at the historic Winyah Auditorium, where I've been for 9 years. Next slide. The Winyah Auditorium has long been a place where our community comes together for generations. Residents have gathered here for performances, ceremonies, and celebrations. While the building reflects our past, our work is focused on sustaining its future. Winyah is more than a building. Our mission is to provide accessible arts and cultural experiences serve as a welcoming community gathering space and support education, enrichment, and creative expression for all ages. Today, Winyah operates as a true cultural hub. We host performing arts, community events, educational programming, youth engagement activities, worship services, and civic gatherings, all under one roof. Winyah serves residents of all ages, local artists and performers, nonprofits, community organizations, schools, and youth groups. It is truly a shared space designed to serve the entire community. The clip that is playing now is Claflin University. That was a co-sponsorship between the Claflin University Alumni Association of Georgetown and the Winyah Auditorium. This is an active living space. The auditorium is used year-round, indoors and outdoors, for community events, community gatherings, local performances, and school-related activities, and is, of course, the home of the Georgetown School of the Arts and Sciences. Winyah is home to 3 performance arts organizations: the Winyah Indigo Choral Society, the Georgetown Theater Orchestra, and the Winyah Bay Musical Ensemble, and home to Kingdom First Ministries. We also host our own live productions and serve as, again, like I said, a place of worship. These resident groups ensure consistent programming and community engagement. The impact of Winyah extends far beyond the stage. It supports cultural preservation, strengthens community pride and identity, and contributes to downtown vitality and provides meaningful exposure to the arts for our county's youth. As a historic facility, Winyah requires ongoing maintenance and operational support. Utilities, building upkeep, and programming costs are necessary to keep the space safe, accessible, and active for the community. And we most certainly are thankful to the ongoing support of the Georgetown County Council over the years for what you all continue to do and have done. Looking ahead, we envision expanded programming, increased community access, and Winyah continuing to grow as a true community-wide, county-wide cultural hub. Thank you for your time and continued support for the Winyah Auditorium. Your partnership helps preserve our past, serve our present, and build a strong cultural future for Georgetown County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bonds. Are there any questions or comments for Mr. Bonds?
Yes.
Reverend Cooper?
My comment, overall, the building actually, it was constructed, was 1908 when it was constructed.
You are actually correct. Yes, sir. 1908.
In 2011, it was renovated, correct?
Correct, sir.
The seating capacity, the ballroom, was that 333 people for the most part for the ballroom?
For the auditorium, main floor, and balcony, we have a capacity of 416.
If someone wanted to come, let's say, in terms of maybe renting the ballroom, what's the requirement? Who do they need to speak to? The number here listed?
I'm the person. My number is 843-630-5244.
Can you give it one more time, please?
Yes, sir, I will. 843-630-5244.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anything further for Mr. Bonds? Thank you, sir, for everything you do for Georgetown County.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Next, we move down to our FY25 audit. Mr. Alan Thompson of Thompson Price Scott Adams and Company, PA, will present. Mr. Thompson, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for allowing our firm to do the county's audit. You should have two documents in front of you. I'm going to jump from the smaller one, the presentation summary. And if you'd be kind enough to flip over to page 1, there's a few things I have to go through that we're required to do. These first 3 paragraphs under our responsibility in relation to the financial statement audit basically describe what we're required to do under professional standards, and that we're required to issue an opinion on that, and that we issue an opinion that the financial statements are materially correct, not absolute, and that we communicate any significant findings to you. The main thing you hire us as an independent audit firm to do is issue an opinion on the financial statements. We issue an unmodified report, and there were no findings in the audit report. So kudos to you as a board and to management and to the finance staff, and we're grateful for all the stuff they did for us in providing information to allow us to complete our work. On page 2, significant risk identified. We identified 2 risks in every audit we do. One is management override of controls, the other is improper revenue recognition. We performed tests around both of those items, and in this case, we found no issues whatsoever. We're very grateful for all the information provided on those 2 items for testing. Under significant accounting policies, the main one was GASB Statement 101, which we were able to complete easy enough this year, but it requires a lot of effort in order to get there. So staff was very helpful in getting there. Significant accounting estimates, which includes allowance for doubtful accounts, depreciation, et cetera. We were fine with that. We were fine with all the financial statements disclosures. They were neutral, consistent, and clear. We had no difficulties encountered in performing our audit. There were no uncorrected misstatements. And on page 3, there were no disagreements with management. Management did provide us with a representation letter dated January 20th. When aware that management consulted the outside accountants, auditors, et cetera. There were 2 small items that we mentioned, but both had no impact on the bottom line. One was really, when it says budget violations, it was more about the input of the budget that was approved than it was about exceeding that. And I say where it was actually entered into the software system, not that you didn't approve it. Then the prior period restatement has got to do with the lease standard that came out a couple years ago, and that we had to go back and make a correction. Again, that doesn't impact cash flow or cash, et cetera. On page 5, I'm not saying these are all the key numbers in the audit report itself, but they are several of the key numbers that we get consistently asked about. So we put those numbers in the first column, and then we put the 4 prior year audit reports just to the right, so you have some context or you can see any trend information related to those numbers. You can see on the top there, total fund balance in your general fund at $31,040,000, an unavailable fund balance at $1.6 million, committed and assigned at $472,000, and then total general fund expenditures at $38.8 million, and then fund balance available as a percentage of general fund expenditures at 75.62%. Then you see revenues over and under expenses before transfers, the general fund a positive $9 million, law enforcement $1.3 million, culture and recreation at positive $6 million, capital improvement plan at a minus $17 million, economic grants at a minus $217,000, then American Rescue Plan Act of $333,000, other governmental funds a positive $10.3 million, environmental services at a positive $709,000, and stormwater drainage utility at $257,000. You see the depreciation expense for both environmental services and stormwater there at $1,753,000 and $561,000 respectively. And you see total fixed assets there and utility funds at $56 million with accumulated depreciation of $28.4 and cash of $19.8. The cash and fund balances, I'm not going to read every one of these, but total cash in general fund is $27.5 million. And then I'm going to skip down. Capital improvement plans has cash of $63.7. And then you see the general fund balance, as we previously mentioned, along with all the other fund balances for each of the specific funds there listed. On page 6, you see that the tax rate, the collection percentage for the prior year, or current year at 99.58%, which is very, very good. You see your assessed value at $685 million, along with your levy of 59.8. You see your governmental debt there at $109,928. And then you see your business type debt at $2,799,000 for total debt of the county at $112.7 million. And then a breakdown of your general fund revenues there, with the total being $41.6 million, and breakdown of your general fund expenditures at $32,660,000. And then you see in this slide here, analysis of your fund balance, total fund balance there being in blue with unavailable fund balance in red. And on the bottom of that page, you see analysis of fund balance available as a percentage, with going from 43.03 to 75.62%. Then on page 8, you see cash balances there by fund and a percentage of the total, and then fund balances there by percentage of the total. And then underneath that, you see total cash balances at $206.8 million, and total fund balances there at $216.6 million. On page 9, you see collection percentages, and I just mentioned what a really good collection percentage you had for this year. And on the bottom of that page, you see total debt, with governmental debt being significantly more than business type activity debt. On page 10, you see a breakdown of your general fund revenue, with property tax revenue equaling almost 60%. On the bottom, you see general governmental being the largest expenditure. Again, the main thing you ask us to do is issue an opinion on the financial statements as a whole. We issued an unmodified report, which is a quote-unquote clean report. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have of me, not just tonight, but anytime. You're welcome to call the office. If I happen not to be there, get my cell phone. I'll do my best to get you an answer to your question.
I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
What I've learned in the last year, the difference between corporate finance or corporate auditing or financing and what we're doing here. I know we've got 5 different types of fund balance, and I actually called your firm about this, if you remember that. And I never have figured out, as far as the only fund balance I'm really interested in, because you're moving things in and out of the budget. So you've never, the difference that I know between this type of accounting and the accounting out there in the commercial world is that when you set a budget, you keep that budget unless you've got a change in the scope of work all the way through the year or whatever the period of performance is. In this type of accounting, it seems like we don't do that. The budget's all over the place all the time. And my question is, as a layman in public accounning, the only fund balance I'm interested in is what you have left that's unrestricted fund balance. I think that's the 4th or 5th type. Do you call that out anywhere in here? You probably do. It just gets lost in the numbers. But am I making sense?
I think so. Yes, sir. So on page 5, it shows total fund balance in your general fund. I don't know that it specifically gives the non-committed, non-available fund balance, but under those first 3 numbers, the $31,040,000,
Yep.
you subtract out the $1.6 million and the $472,000, and you get the amount that's, quote, unassigned or available, if you will. And my rough math would say that's somewhere around $29 million in rounding.
But that doesn't show up in here.
No, sir, it does not.
And why is that not the case? I mean, that's rainy day money.
It is. On page 7, we actually do a chart that shows analysis of fund balance available. That's 75.62%. And these are this presentation is just kind of something we put together as a firm. It's not necessarily something that's required. If you would like us to put that in the presentation going forward, I'm happy to do
I
that.
would like to do that because that's the money we need when we've got a rainy day.
Yes, sir.
And all I know from that chart is that it's 75.62% of something.
Yes, sir. Of your total general fund expenditures.
Okay, I'm glad I'm making sense to you.
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are there any
To
questions from Mr. Thompson?
follow up with Councilman Anderson, Mr. Thompson, in the thick book, on the fiduciary pages, there's only two. I think it mentions it somewhere earlier. Something we very seldom ever speak of. Would you mind explaining those two pages?
Yes, sir. I think it's 28 and 29. Those two pages talk about the amount of taxes or that the county is responsible for, but they're technically not the county's. The county is acting as a fiduciary for other municipalities, et cetera, that it's collecting for.
It would be our three municipalities within the county, correct?
Yes, sir, that's right. So you're not, those are not your monies, they're somebody else's that you're just taking care of, if you will.
So I take it that's like a balance sheet or
Yes, sir, that's correct.
that's why it balances out 23 million assets and liabilities.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are there any further questions from Mr. Thompson? Thank you, Mr. Thompson. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move down now to the recognition of Employee of the Year, Volunteer of the Year, Manager of the Year, and the Innovation Award. Our Director, our Assistant County Administrator, Ellis. You have the floor.
Good evening, Chairman, members of council. As you mentioned, each year we recognize several end-of-year award nominees. Tonight, we're going to do Employee Volunteer of the Year, Volunteer of the Year, Manager of the Year, and an Innovation Award. I'm going to try to make these brief, but also want to recognize these individuals for their hard work and dedication. As we previously discussed, we'll go through these individually, and then we'll do take the photographic evidence at one time so we can save those knees getting up and down out of those chairs. So
Thank you very much.
first up, we're going to recognize our Employee of the Year, our Employee Volunteer of the Year, I'm sorry. This award is given to an employee who volunteers his or her time in a capacity that's outside of their ordinary job duties and responsibilities. This year, I am honored to recognize Lieutenant Alex Roman with Georgetown County Fire EMS as our Employee Volunteer of the Year. Lieutenant Roman was, his volunteer contribution for this year was that he spearheaded the Toys for Tots effort that we do each year with Georgetown County Fire EMS at Walmart. There's a lot of work that goes into this, both behind the scenes and out in public. And Lieutenant Roman's dedication to this and his assistance in coordinating this project really excelled and went above and beyond. His passion and dedication for this program really allowed many children who are less fortunate in our community to have a very good Christmas this year. In that, he and his team who went out and stood out in front of Walmart, many of you probably saw them on the weekend that they were out there, they collected in excess of 700 toys for our community. So please join me in congratulating Lieutenant Alex Roman as Employee Volunteer of the Year for Georgetown County for 2025. Next up is our Volunteer of the Year. This award is given to a volunteer who gives their time to support Georgetown County in a fully volunteer capacity. So this is an unpaid volunteer of our county and staff. This year, you may know this familiar face. Mr. Ed Mills has been a familiar face around Midway Fire Rescue for more than 4 decades. And although his days of running in and out of burning buildings, just like mine, have come to an end, he still is a dedicated volunteer to the department. Mr. Mills continues to help the department with various tasks day in and day out. Some examples of those: he serves on our 1% committee, which is a benefit to our firefighters. He also provides some very much needed comic relief around the fire station on a daily basis, I think, in and out of each of our stations. This year, he's being recognized thanks to his abilities as a skilled electrician, from wiring new lights in our fire stations to wiring up bunker gear dryers and various other tasks. He most recently professionally installed all of the electrical components for one of our new storage buildings that is housing a bunch of our equipment. Because of this, he saved us thousands of dollars in costs for the department, as well as saved our facility services department time and energy that they could exert elsewhere in serving the county. All he asks for in return is usually a cup of coffee and a good conversation that he's either a part of or initiates. So we are very thankful for retired Battalion Chief Ed Mills and his contributions, and recognize him as the Georgetown County Employee, or Georgetown County Volunteer of the Year for 2025. Next is our Manager of the Year. The Manager of the Year award recognizes someone in a managerial role in Georgetown County who goes above and beyond the interest of their normal duties in the interest of the county and their employees. Assistant Fire Chief Aaron Bostic with Georgetown County Fire EMS oversees the day-to-day operations and provides administrative oversight for the men and women operating in the field. In addition, over the past year, he has spearheaded several initiatives within the department, including the development of a new Marine Response Division, a drone program, development and implementation of a new records management system, and much, much more. Chief Bostic has also become intimately involved in the department's budgeting process, where he assists Chief Falkenhagen with planning and managing the budget for the department on a daily basis. He's also heavily involved in strategic planning for the future of the department to prepare us for where we are headed. Aside from his professional contributions, Chief Bostic is a servant leader with a compassionate heart. These attributes shine clearly throughout his daily interactions with his staff, his team, and the members of our community. You won't find a bigger cheerleader for Georgetown County Fire EMS than this guy over here, I promise you. So please help me in recognizing Assistant Chief Aaron Bostic as the Manager of the Year for 2025 for Georgetown County. Last one, I promise. You all are familiar, we give innovation awards when a department or an employee identifies a creative solution to a problem. And obviously the theme of this evening is firemen, so if you know anything about firemen, we're good at tearing things up and breaking things. So at Midway Fire Rescue, we've had a reoccurring problem with our station doors accidentally and inadvertently closing down unprompted when we didn't press the button. And on several occasions, this has happened while our men and women are responding out of the station to a call, and it's caused damage not only to the station, but also to our fire apparatus. With that in mind, members of our staff set out to find a solution, and they came up with a solution that it basically utilizes LED lighting and trip sensors so that it provides a go, no go, or a green is good, red is bad type solution that lights up in front of the driver operator's face. Green light means you're good, you can go. Red light, bad situations happen, it means the door's coming down, and usually gets the attention of the driver before they hear that loud crash of the door breaking and we're out thousands and thousands of dollars. Since the implementation in April of 2025, I'm proud to announce we've had no more accidents involving inadvertent door closures and apparatus damage. But this innovative solution has allowed us to, protect our equipment, protect our men and women, and protect our infrastructure a lot better. So we'd like to recognize them for the Innovation Award for the Bay Door project that they did this year back in April of 2025. Now, if we could trouble you for a few photos, I'm sure it would make Miss Jackie happy, and then we can get on with the program.
Brandon, before you leave the stage, I've got a question on this. Have we got some kind of an optical sensor or something that's turning this green light off and on to red, or?
Yes, sir.
What are we doing?
It's a sensor.
I'm an engineer and I'm just curious.
We can get you photos, videos, or you
No, I
can
just-
come by and take a
so
look, but it's a sensor,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, Chief, it's an RF sensor that picks up and it detects when the door's in motion, when it's not. When it's in the secure position, in the upright secure position, it's green. If it moves out of the upright secure position, that red light starts flashing and emits it, and it's right in our driver operator's face, so they see it, so they can stop promptly.
So it's a heat sensor.
Not really heat sensor, I think there's
RF,
a trigger point on theirs, but there's, I'm not an engineer, so I can't explain it to that level for you, but red's bad, green's good, that's all we know in the world, so we're happy with that. We've stopped all the damages, but I'm sure we can get together with Chief McClellan on the outside and get the details on exactly how they engineered this up, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, and congratulations to everyone. We move down to 4G, appeal of the fire impact fees. We have a report from Ms. Holly Richardson, our planning director. Ms. Richardson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The county established fire impact fees back in the late 90s. As you know, we now subsequently established what we call development impact fees under a separate ordinance. But fire impact fees have been around in Georgetown County since 1997. That particular ordinance spells out a process for appeal, and those appeals come before county council for a reduction. We have received a request for an appeal on behalf of the solar project, SR Georgetown. I'm sure you're familiar with it. We've reviewed it for VLOs and other rezonings and other different items. This specific request is for a reduction of 50% for the fire impact fee. Back in October of 2024, you heard a similar request from them for Phase 1 of the project. They refer to it as Lambert 1 and 2. At that time, we approved a reduction of 50% for a revised fire impact fee of $1,008,000 plus some change. We are estimating, based on our current ordinance, the fire impact fee for Phase 2 to be $704,000. They have proposed 50% of that fee at a total of $352,000. In the attached proposed memorandum of understanding, they've agreed to put that on deposit. They understand that if the reduction is not approved, they will need to pay the full amount before they can be issued the building permit for the project. Due to the minimal fire hazard potential, most of this construction is obviously metal. There is a low fire risk. The substation probably had the most risk of electrical, was the largest amount of electrical equipment. That was done in Phase 1. This is mostly metal construction. We do believe a different approach is necessary to address the emergency response that would be needed by the county. More specialized equipment is needed. And the fire impact fee is based on the cost of construction, so that's the big difference. Obviously, this cost of construction is pretty high, and when you use that calculation, it comes up with a high number. The Emergency Services Department has proposed a budget for the $352,000. That's included in your agenda packet. The majority of those expenditures that are proposed would supplement the fire suppression equipment that we planned for in Phase 1. Staff is recommending approval for the reduced fire impact fees for the SR Georgetown project. If it is approved, at the end of the day, for both phases, they will have paid a total of $1,360,022 towards the fire impact fee for the project.
Ms. Holly, the initial Phase 1, what was the total impact fee? It was $1 million.
The $1,008,000 was the reduced amount.
Okay, so it was like double that?
Yes, sir.
And we did give them that advantage
Yes, sir.
for Phase 1. Now, Phase 2 is not as apt to having fires. That's not the right words, but that's what I'm going to use. So we're going to give them what kind of a reduction in that?
It's still the proposed 50% reduction. Phase 2 is a smaller project.
Right.
Maybe a third, maybe even smaller than that in size. Also, the other equipment like the substation was included in Phase 1.
Well,
So the cost of construction is smaller.
We had a piece of equipment in here in this 2-week period, some kind of a foam truck or something. And Brandon can probably speak to that. Is that going to be, is that something we needed for this, Mr. Ellis? I'm just trying to figure out what
So
we're
that,
doing.
the phone trailer that's in, under consent agenda this, tonight is actually a component of the initial, impact fee for the fire. That's a purchase that was already authorized through the initial impact fees. The items that are listed in our itemized budget for, the proposed funds currently with what's on the table tonight, will supplement those resources that were purchased with the initial Phase 1.
So is that for fire prevention, or I guess electrical fire prevention
Yes, sir.
foam?
Yes, sir. It's just a suppression mechanism. The foam actually allows the water to work smarter, if you will. It'll allow us to maximize our water capabilities in that area. So what Holly's proposing here with this impact fee structure of the 50% reduction is in line with what you all did with Phase 1. That's why we supported going with the 50% reduction from a staff perspective for Phase 2, because it's consistent with what we've already done.
So you're okay with this?
Yes, sir.
That's all I needed to know.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Holly, excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry.
Councilman Morant.
The way our impact fees are presently structured, is there anything in there which pertains to solar farms or anything, or just for buildings?
No, the way the fire impact fee ordinance is set up, it's purely based on the cost of construction. So it doesn't list out the different uses. I think what you're thinking, our development impact fees do. You know, they say what rate would be for a nursing home or what the rate would be for a single-family house. Fire impact fee ordinance, again, was set up earlier and is a little different.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have a few questions. How many reduced impact fees did we give to any other companies, non-solar, last year?
I'm not aware of any.
How many appeals or reduced impact fees did we give to any homeowners?
I would have to double check that for you. We do have a provision to do that on the development impact fees based on income. So it would be a very few, if any.
Be very few.
Yes, sir.
And my question is, they knew these impact fees were there going in, and now they're coming and asking us to repeal them or reduce them by half. And everybody knows I'm no solar farm fan. And I don't try to hide that. And I do not agree with this. We don't give it to our other businesses or our homeowners. I don't think we should give it to them.
Any further questions or comments? Councilor, or Bishop Cooper?
My question is that it has been implemented since 1997 for the most part, the appeal, correct?
The avenue for the appeal has been in the ordinance that was passed in 1997. The method for appeal, yes, sir.
Are there three particular areas that those fees affect, such as new development, mobile home placement, and construction? Are those the specific areas that those fees are impacting?
The fire impact fees, yes, it would be new construction, additions, things like that. Yes, it covers residential as well.
Has it always covered residential for the most part, from what I understood? For the best of my knowledge, it was most of mobile homes, but now it's covering both, and how long has it been covering the residential as well?
I don't think there've been any changes to the fire impact fees since it was passed in 1997. Now, the development impact fees that we passed later did originally cover mobile homes, and then we subsequently amended that one not to apply to the mobile homes. But that's the development impact fees. And again, this is fire impact fees under a separate ordinance.
So those that have mobile home, they are missing out on certain, the fees, they're not getting their due diligence at those that have residential?
I think the mobile homes are paying a fire impact fee when they get that mobile home permit, but they're not paying the development impact fees.
Thank you.
Ms. Holly, I think we went through reducing the regular construction impact fees on new homes last year sometime. We had to redo it after the 10-year cycle or whatever, correct?
Yes, sir.
I've been on council for 9 years, and I have never heard about this fire impact fee. Is this, I know it's nothing new, but when somebody buys a new house, are they paying the construction impact fee and this is just part of it? Or is there actually two different fees for a new homeowner?
They'll pay the fire impact fee based on this ordinance, and then the development impact fees based on the new rate, as you remember, that we approved when we
Right.
updated the plan.
Yeah,
So
we reduced it, as I recall, because we had to.
for almost all situations, yeah, except for larger houses. But for
Okay.
residential, most of them, yes, got
Will
reduced.
this fire impact fee come up again for the changes in what we charge?
I'm not aware of any plans to update it. Like I said, the 10-year update is a requirement for the newer impact fees.
Right.
we kind of have felt like this 1997 ordinance was kind of grandfathered since
Yes.
it was passed before that state law came to be.
So every new home is paying this fire impact fee.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. I learned something tonight. I was not aware of that.
There any further questions for Ms. Holly?
Yeah, just for clarification, really, you said this impact fee is based on the construction cost of this project? That's what the fire impact fee is based on?
That's how the fire impact fee is calculated.
And we did do a reduction for the first phase,
Yes, sir.
and now they're coming back again for a reduction in the second phase?
Right. The same percentage request for this phase as was for phase one. Like I said, the numbers are lower, but that's because the cost of construction is significantly less with this project.
Yeah,
It's smaller area and smaller in scope.
I looked at the letter. I didn't see anything in there talking about how giving them a reduction would be beneficial to the county. How would that be beneficial to the county? I didn't see it in their letter of request.
I think their letter refers to they're justifying their request by referring to the reduced need for fire suppression equipment based on the method of construction. It's you know, I don't know that solar was thought of when they created this fire impact fee ordinance. It's more crafted for vertical construction and, you know, more of a typical building type situation, not solar panels. I doubt that was envisioned in 97 when they created the ordinance.
And if I may, I think that part of it is the combustibility associated with the project is less than, you know, traditional construction. So the likelihood of a fire is less, which is why from our perspective, we were in favor. We did support the request for a reduction as it was being worked through the process. Because the combustibility of the construction and the likelihood of a fire taking place is a lot less than, say, you know, a brick and mortar or stick-built structure in that regard.
I had a quick question. Didn't you have to acquire new equipment to support the fires? on
We
this?
did that with the phase one, with what our internal analysis was. We too didn't have much information from a planning perspective as far as solar farm firefighting. We had to do quite a bit of research and talk to some peers and whatnot. So we have acquired, in the process of acquiring the equipment based off of the initial impact fees for phase one, and this phase two funding will supplement those resources.
What's the life of that equipment?
It varies based off of the equipment. Some of the equipment has a 10-year operational lifespan. Some of it might have a 20 to 30-year operational lifespan. It just depends on the individual pieces of equipment.
AC Ellis, the monies that you spent out of phase one, were there enough monies to cover everything that you guys needed, or are you gonna have to go back and dip into the phase two monies to complete your purchases?
We were able to purchase the bulk of the equipment identified in phase one. The funding from phase two will supplement that equipment. And if you look at the itemized list, it's mostly hoses, appliances, not refrigerators and freezers, but fittings, adapters, nozzles, things of that nature. So that's how we're supplementing those initial purchases. Instead of using equipment that we already have or having to go buy additional equipment, we're able to supplement that with the phase two funding.
So phase two is like consumables?
It'll make
Sort
it
of.
turnkey, yes, sir. Okay. It's the remainder of the equipment that would be needed for the tanker truck that's being purchased through phase one funding. The remainder of the equipment, the bulk of it would be purchased with phase two funding.
And the maintenance portion,
O&M will just be absorbed. Impact fees can only be used for capital purchases, so we can't use the impact fees for O&M or reoccurring costs. It has to be for a capital purchase, so it's a one-time shot.
okay, and you feel that you have enough monies?
We feel comfortable based off of what's being proposed through discussions with Holly and administration. We feel like we'll be okay.
Okay, thank you.
If we don't approve it, what would you do with the extra funds?
can always buy stuff. We always have a need, so we can always buy, but like I said, it's a one-time deal, so it's capital equipment. So if we buy capital equipment, we can't just look at, we're buying a shiny red object. We have to think about the reoccurring cost with that, the lifespan of it, the replacement of it. It's a full circle process.
Can we allocate the funds to future capital project if you have something to replace the existing?
We could, in theory, I think, as long as it's a capital purchase. But we were requested specifically for this to itemize based off of this.
But theoretically,
Off of this.
if we didn't approve it, you could put that in your fund for future purchases if you needed to.
Theoretically, I think that's correct. I'm not the expert when it comes to the.
Just on our audit, so.
Yeah,
I'll defer.
yeah, you have to be pretty careful. It's got to be very specific for this particular project because it's talking about the impact of the project on our services.
We don't know all impacts into the future.
We don't know all the impacts, but that's why we went through a pretty extensive process, looking at all those things that we may need. And we were very intentional with phase one of getting the major equipment on the front end.
They also received a FILO. I know I was looking for Kelly, but she's not here.
Yes. It's very different from the first one they received. So they are they're paying appropriately now.
I'm going to ask the question again about the first phase. Did this group give the 50% reduction the first time around? Did we vote on that?
Yes.
Okay. So we did it once, and they're back for a second hit. Thank you.
Are there any further questions for ACA Ellis or Ms. Holly? All right, hearing none, the chair will hear a motion on the appeal of fire impact fees. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
So moved by Counselor Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Cooper. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed? Motion fails. 3-4. All right, we move down to item 4H, our ATAX recommendations. We have a report from Ms. Megan Colgrove, our finance director. Ms. Colgrove, you have the floor.
At the January 13th meeting, I presented the ATAX committee recommendations for approval by council. Council approved the recommended 28 recipients in the funding. This matter is back before council tonight simply to reference, clarify, and confirm that the sums which council approved for expenditure are those sums shown under council updates in the green column of the spreadsheet provided to council at its January 13th meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Colgrove. Are there any questions for Ms. Colgrove?
Thank you for the update.
Chair will entertain a motion on item 4H, the ATAX recommendations.
Mr. Chair, I move that we amend the prior motion to clarify the vote of council to approve ATAX expenditures, to identify and confirm council's approval of those expenditures identified in the green column under council updates of the ATAX recommendations report and spreadsheet.
Thank you.
And they're in the packet.
Thank you, Councilor Mercado. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Anderson. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? Motion passes. ATAX recommendations are adopted. Move down to 4I, RFQu number 25-063, Construction Manager at Risk, CMAR, New Georgetown County Emergency Services Building. ACA Ellis, you have the floor, sir.
I hope this is the last time this evening. Good evening. Yes, you're here for the RFQ 25-063 is for our construction manager at risk. I was asked to give a special report tonight on this regarding the selection process. This process involves selecting a construction manager at risk, or a CMAR, for the new emergency services building project. That's part of our 2024 CPST program. On September 9th of last year, you all approved the MRB group to design the new emergency services building, and that process is well underway. We just completed our schematic design, and we're beginning our detailed design process. The RFQ that we're here tonight for is to contract the CMAR to work with the architect on the county's behalf to help with the value engineering during the remainder of the design phase, construction management, and the contractor-subcontractor services. Very similar to what we've done out at the detention center with their design and construction management process. The original solicitation for this project yielded 7 responses from various firms. After a thorough review of the respondents by an evaluation committee, the top 3 vendors or 3 respondents were identified and presentations and interviews were conducted. After the interview process was completed, the evaluation committee finalized the scoring, which identified the highest ranking candidate. The evaluation committee hereby recommends the award to the highest ranking candidate, MBCon Construction Company. They've performed extensive work in Georgetown County. They have great local supplier relationships. They utilize local and minority vendors, and they have excellent references from governmental entities of similar projects and scope. Pending any questions that you might have, I would turn it over to you for a vote and approval.
Where,
Councilor Newt?
where are they based out of?
Their home base is South Carolina. I'm pretty sure it's out of Columbia, if I'm not mistaken.
Did we have any local contractors?
No, sir, no local contractors from Georgetown County applied.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any further questions for A.C. Ellis?
Got a question. This is one individual with Fringe. What's it going to cost us?
That's being negotiated right now. We're in negotiations. Ms. Nancy Silver is working through that process to get a final number. And it should, based off of their presentation that they gave to the evaluation committee, it should be well within budget.
Well, what's our budget? And
Our
I'll
budget
ask
for
it a different way.
Our total budget for the project was
No,
$10
I'm
million.
talking about just for this, to cover this RFQ.
The remainder of the $10 million minus the MRB contract that you all approved last year, so somewhere in the $7.5 million range.
But what I'm talking about is that we're just talking about a construction manager that here, correct?
They'll manage the overall construction of the project just as we are at the detention center. So
This
they'll
is construction management then, not just manager.
management, construction
Okay,
manager
all
at
right.
risk.
Now-
It's
now
the
I'm with you.
terminology. Yes, sir. It's the construction management for the project. As I mentioned, it takes through the remainder of the design phase, the construction management phase, as well as the contractor and subcontractor services. So it's all inclusive, kind of like going to a resort.
So are we still under budget on this thing overall, to where we can absorb this?
Yes, sir. This was a part of our initial planning for the project.
Okay, just asking the same old questions. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Brandon, this emergency services building, is this one that's going to be built on 51 near the proposed jail complex?
Yes, sir. It's going to be built on the same property, the same complex.
Okay, and the company that you are recommending is the same company that's approving, that's working out there now with the jail complex?
They are the same company that's doing construction management for the jail complex as well. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
And I take it, Brandon, they're gonna be going through the bid process similar as we did at the prison,
Yes, sir. It'll be,
site work.
yes, sir.
All
It'll be pretty much identical to what we've got going on out there currently.
Is there
as far
any
as process.
specialty work for a building like that, like the prison?
Ours is a lot less comprehensive and in-depth as the jail is. We don't have many of the same requirements that they do. Ours is going to be much smaller scale, obviously, but we want it to be a hardened facility. The scope of work on it is written in a manner to where this is the nucleus of emergency operations for the county, so we want it to be a hardened facility, but we don't have all of the regulations and things that the jail does, so it's not going to be as complex. And they're pretty confident, based off of initial conversations or their presentation rather, that they'll be able to get us in under budget.
So there's a chance multiple local contractors would end up working on that building?
Yes, sir. That's the plan, is to kind of utilize the same roadmap that we've got going on with the jail project. local contractors, minority contractors, utilizing local businesses, letting Georgetown build this project for Georgetown.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Administrator, this project, are we going to have to bond this? What kind of money are we talking about here?
10 million.
We will be bonding this project along with all of our Georgetown County CPST projects.
This
Okay,
is funded
and-
by the penny tax that we just passed.
Yes.
Pardon?
Funded by the penny tax that we
Okay,
passed
so
last year.
what's the projected bottom line for this building?
I think the budget was around 10 million.
It's $10 million is what the
Okay.
project budget is. Yes, sir.
I think you told me that earlier, and I was thinking about people instead of buildings.
Yes, sir.
So it's about 10 million.
It's a $10 million, that's what
All
was
right.
approved by the voters. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And you're moving from an area that currently floods, correct?
We are moving from a hurricane evacuation / flood / hazardous material / all of the above zone. So, yes, ma'am.
Got it. Thank you.
Are there any further questions for AC Ellis?
Yes. My question would be, construction management at risk versus design, bid, build versus design, bid, build. How is that risk allocated?
Construction manager at risk is the best option for us as the builder per se, as the client. It's the least risk for us in the long run.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions? All right, the chair will entertain a motion on RFQ number 25063, the construction manager at risk for the new Georgetown County Emergency Services building. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
So moved by Counselor Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Mercado. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? RFQ passes. Move down to our public comment period. Public comment period is included in each meeting agenda and shall be limited to 30 minutes. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes, and no speaker may yield his or her allotted time to another speaker. Timer is provided on screen, and at the end of your time, please wrap up your comments promptly. While speaking, please be sure to address council only and refrain from personal attacks. Council will not respond to any questions during this period. While a speaker has the floor, the public will respect the speaker and allow them their time to address council. Members of the public who wish to address council during the public input period should sign up with the clerk to council before the meeting. Our clerk is out today, so I think Ms. Broach is filling in. Ms. Broach, are there any speakers for tonight's meeting?
Yes, sir. There are 6 speakers signed up. The first one is Mr. Derek Harrelson.
Good evening, Council. My name is Derek Harrelson. I'm a resident of Georgetown County. I live in Lakewood subdivision. I'm going to speak tonight on 13A, executive session, a possible vote to purchase a building downtown, the old Customs House, for $5.7 million or whatever information has been disseminated about that. Just a couple quick thoughts that I would love for council to consider regarding that. Council already owns, or Georgetown County already owns several properties throughout the county, some of them multi-million-dollar properties, specifically one on Marcina Drive, purchased in 2019 for $3.73 million. That was supposed to be an industrial complex. Nothing has happened with it. They also own another property just a few blocks down from the said proposed property. I believe a drainage project was done on it. Coastal Carolina used to occupy it. That property is in a dilapidated state. I don't know of any intent of the county to sell that property. I think that property could be used to potentially be redone for a fraction of the cost of the purchase of the said property in question, and be redone to meet all of the ADA components that would need to be met for that. And also the third thing I would love to consider is the wages of our current county employees that serve us residents of the county. I have a wage study from 2014 that South Carolina printed. It has multiple specific jobs listed in their specific ranges. One of them being appraisers, myself being a certified residential appraiser in the county, having worked at Georgetown County, know what the wages of our certified residential appraisers are and what we get here. I understand that you've given a couple raises over the past couple years, but there was a stint there about 3 to 4 years where we didn't get one. The state, what they have proposed here is well within the range of what we have, of what the county has put out for their range of pay for an appraiser. But what is perception is not always reality. I have here several jobs from other counties that show what their appraisers are paid at for hire. So Florence County is in the study here. Their minimum pay for an appraiser is $39,000 listed on their pay scale, which is lower than ours at 46. But the reality is they're paying their appraisers about $54,000, well above their low. Beaufort County is listed in here. Their low is 56. They are paying their employees, certified residential appraiser, anywhere between $61 and about $72,000. Berkeley County, 70 to 80. And then my favorite one is Orangeburg County for an uncertified property inspector to measure properties is at $46,000 with no certifications. So I'd love for council to consider better ways to spend this money and these finances than on the purchase of another building that is not needed. Thank you.
I apologize if I get this one wrong. I think it says William Mercer. That's my best guess. William Welch. Nobody named William signed up? All right, Rick Newell.
Not sure what the protocol is, but I do have a short handout that I would like to give to each member of council to just sort of follow along, if that's possible.
Thank you, Randy.
Good evening. My name is Rick Newell. I'm appearing here today under authorized power of attorney for a taxpayer, William C. Hucks, who happens to be my son. He's currently a property owner. He has a personal residence, and he also has an adjacent lot beside that personal residence. I'm here to bring to council's attention property tax collection issue that I believe exposes some procedural and system problems that could affect many Georgetown County taxpayers. In mid-October, a neon placard was posted on his front door stating that his house would be sold at a public sale. I checked the county website, could find no unpaid real estate property taxes due. Then I contacted the treasurer's office and was informed that this was an unpaid water and sewer district assessment that was not visible online due to software limitations. And those are the attachments for you on pages 4 through 8. You'll see what I'm referencing. So I contacted county treasurer's office, and I spoke to a clerk there, and I asked, what the balance due was and how I could take care of that. She said I could not find that online, but she said she could provide that amount for me. And so she provided the amount, which was $308.79. She said it could be paid only by mail or in person, not online. She said that amount had to be paid in full, and it also had to be paid either in cash or a certified check. I secured that check, mailed it in, received a stamped receipt dated October 31st, 2025. Subsequent to that, a letter dated November 21st stated that his house had been sold on a tax sale on November 3rd, 2025, which would have been 3 days after the stamp receipt that I received. And that was for those delinquent water and sewer taxes. Subsequent to that, I received another letter dated November 21st, but it came on, he received it on December 19th. I know that because I had surgery on December 17th, and I was at home in my recliner because I'd been instructed not to do anything for 4 days. Obviously, this was a very upsetting situation for him. I assured him it must be some oversight, and I would look into it. So I sent several, I made several calls to county treasurer's office, did not get any callbacks. Then I sent 2 separate emails to the county treasurer. I think one of those was dated the 2nd and maybe the other the 4th. On January 8th, county treasurer responded to me and asked me if I would forward to her all the information regarding the payments that I had made. She told me she would look into it. January 11th, I knew the date
Mr.
was
Newell,
approaching for the New Year's taxes.
Can you wrap it up for us, please? We have all that information.
Okay. And so on that date, I went to the office, paid all the taxes. You know, she told me at that time, she said, I think what I've done is legal in selling that house, but she said, I have called Columbia to get an opinion on that, and she said, I will get back to you. I have not heard anything back from her, but I did pay all the money to get the house back out of redemption on that sale, and I paid all the current property taxes as well. And there just seems to be a disconnect because those assessments were not posted on the website, even though I happened to look today and they do seem to be posted on it now.
Thanks, sir.
Next up is Mr. Dan Stacy.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of council. I have items 8A, 8B, 8E, and 8F up for third and final. If Holly cannot answer your questions about those and you have additional questions for me, I'm here to answer them. Thank you.
I think this is Miss Felicia Hood. And Mr. Jack Scoville.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman, I'm not here to complain about anything. In Sydney, I practiced law for 45 years in Georgetown, and I was county attorney for 17. And sitting here, I realized that county council meetings are just as boring today as they were 30 years ago. But I'm just here. I practiced law for 20 years in 1001 Front Street, which y'all are thinking about buying. Okay, that's a beautiful building. It's located in a historic site by the Kaminsky House. You have Rainey Park there. And all that lends itself to being a governmental type use or a public use. So that's one of the considerations y'all should give when you consider buying it. The other thing is with the steel mill and the paper mill going away, all the property in Georgetown is becoming more valuable. And once y'all develop the port, whoever develops the paper mill property and the steel mill property gets developed, 1001 Front Street is going to be right in the middle of all that. And I just want y'all to consider, and that is a great location for the new administration office, and I want to encourage y'all buy the property. And I have no relationship with anybody other than being friends with the owner. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you. And
That was the final speaker, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Broach. Move down to the consent agenda. We have 5 matters on the consent agenda that were previously approved through the agenda approval process. RFQ number 25-094, Airport Engineering Services, IDIQ. The Evaluation Committee recommends awarding the highest ranked offer, Adora Group Incorporated. Procurement number 25-044, CERP Replacement, 14-passenger ADA minibus for aging services. Parks and Rec still recommend proceeding with the acquisition of the 2025 StarCraft All-Star 22-foot vehicle with Model 1 commercial vehicles offered through the South Carolina Vehicle State Contract 44003659. Procurement number 25-103, CTC Road Resurfacing, fiscal year 26. Staff recommends awarding the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, Coastal Asphalt LLC, in the amount of $923,716.16. Procurement number 26-006, 500-gallon foam suppression trailer in Georgetown County Fire Department. Staff recommends approval of the lowest bidder, Wally's Fire and Safety Equipment, Inc. of Mullins, South Carolina, at a total cost of $113,485.27, utilizing the North Carolina Sheriff's Association Cooperative Contract. Task number 6 to contract number 24-048, non-engineered road repair, resurfacing, sealing, marking, and drainage, IDIQ. The Georgetown County Parks and Recreation Director has reviewed the proposal received and recommends approval of task order number 6 as quoted to add on to their originally approved task order number 5 existing project with Coastal Asphalt LLC. Move down to public hearings. Ordinance number 25-5, amend the comprehensive plan, future land use map to reflect the redesignation of tax map parcel 01-0404-002-02-00 located on the southern side of Andrews off Chip Mill Road in Georgetown County from rural residential and conservation agricultural to employment. This is in Council District 3. We will open the floor now for the public hearing on 2554. If anyone wants to speak. Seeing none, the public hearing on 2554 is now closed. We move down to ordinance 2556, an ordinance to amend the comprehensive plan future land use map to reflect the redesignation of tax map parcel 02-0103-031-01-00 and 02-0103-031-04-00 located at 2401 North Fraser Street and 68 Jessamine Avenue in Georgetown from residential to commercial corridor in District 7. The floor is now open on ordinance 2556. Seeing no speakers, the floor is now closed on public hearing for 2556. Move down to third reading of ordinances. Ordinance 2551 to rezone 1 acre tract located on the northern side of Margot Lane and Merle's Inlet section of Georgetown County from split zone forest agricultural and general commercial to general commercial. TMS number 41-0402-016-01-07 in Council District 1. Ms. Richardson, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. As you said, this parcel is located on Margot Lane. It is currently split zone between FA and GC and does have one single-family structure on the property today. Both FA and GC zoning both allow for single-family homes, so a zoning change from FA to GC would not affect the current use of the property. There are surrounding tracts that are zoned FA to the north and west and general commercial to the south and east of the parcel. This parcel is only 1 acre in size, but because there is adjacent like-kind zoning, this would not be considered spot zoning. Our future land use map designates this property as residential or RES. There are adjacent properties also designated as RES, and there is a core commercial section in the near proximity to the east of this tract. Based on that, we do not feel that a change to the future land use map is warranted based on the close proximity of existing commercial designation. The Planning Commission voted to recommend approval for this request with a vote of 6-0. There was no public input on the item, and we have had no changes since second reading.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Are there any questions for Ms. Richardson? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion on ordinance 2551 to rezone 1 acre of tract located on the northern side of Margot Lane and Merle's Inlet, section south of Georgetown County, from split zone forest agricultural and general commercial to general commercial, TMS number 41-0402-016-01-07 in Council District 1. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
So moved by Councilor Mercado. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Newton. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed? The ordinance passes. Move down to ordinance 2552. Ordinance to amend the Willbrook Plantation Development PD located at 160 Willbrook Boulevard in Litchfield to add medical office space, professional space, and personal services and clinical space to the list of uses. TMS number 04-0409-001-20-00 in Council District 6. Ms. Richardson.
Yes, there are 2 existing structures on this parcel today. It was previously used by Tidelands Hospital as a billing and account center, and the 2 buildings as of today are vacant. This is part of the Willbrook Plan Development. It was approved back in the 80s as a mixed-use PD and is a very large PD with 2,400 acres. This parcel contains just a little over 3 acres, is located behind the Hampton Inn there on St. Paul Place. This section of the Willbrook PD was originally designated for resort commercial uses. The owner's proposal here is to amend the PD to allow for medical uses, professional offices, personal services, and clinical space to be added to the list of uses, as those are not currently covered under the RC designation. The proposed uses are in keeping with the surrounding area and are frankly more suitable than several of the uses listed in the RC district under the current designation. If this request is approved, staff would recommend requiring the change in ownership or change of tenant form, and obviously any new construction or signage would have to meet the building and zoning regulations. A public hearing was held on this back in November by the Planning Commission. There was no public input, and the commission recommended approval with a 6-0 vote, and we haven't had any changes since second reading.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Are there any questions for Ms. Richardson? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion on ordinance 2552 to amend the Willbrook Plan Development PD located at 160 Willbrook Boulevard in Litchfield to add medical office, professional office, personal services, and clinical space to the list of uses. TMS number 04-0409-001-20-00 in Council District 6. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
So moved by Councilor Mercado. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Anderson. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed? Ordinance passes. Ordinance 2553 to rezone 1 parcel totaling approximately 31.47 acres located at 665 Chip Mill Road in Georgetown County from forest agricultural to heavy industrial. TMS number 01-0404-002-02-00 in Council District 3. Ms. Richardson.
Yes, sir. This parcel is located to the south of Andrews. It's on both sides of Chip Mill Road. There are 2 residential homes that are within about a 3/4 mile radius of this property. The request here is to rezone from FA to HI, or heavy industry, for the 30-plus acre tract to allow for the continued use of a chip mill and a potential future use of an asphalt plant and a gravel storage yard for the property. The surrounding tracts are FA, although there is some other HI zone property to the east along 10-acre road that's about 500 feet away. Future land use map does designate this property as rural residential, RR. That designation does conflict with the uses that are proposed for the property under the industrial designation. There is another employment, which is our new designation for industrial land use classification within a few hundred feet to the east, and a change on the future land use map from residential to employment is warranted for this rezoning. The commission recommended approval for the request with a vote of 6-0. Again, we did not have any further public comment on the item. The commission also recommended the future land use map change from RR to employment to support the request. And I forgot to mention that that also addresses item 8D, which is the next item on our list for tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Are there any questions for Ms. Richardson on ordinance 2553?
Holly, was this one of the cases where the 2008, when the original zoning was done, that it was a chip mill there, and it never indicated by our zoning plan that a chip mill, a business was there, spur, concrete, everything.
Right. Obviously, the amount of zoning that we did in 2008, we probably missed some uses. I think we had another one a couple of years ago out near the Hemingway area that just got missed. This could certainly fall under that category.
So this is not like it's new to industry.
No, it's my understanding that chip mill's been there some time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions for Ms. Richardson? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion on 2553 to rezone one parcel totaling approximately 31.47 acres located at 665 Chip Mill Road in Georgetown County from forest agricultural to heavy industrial, TMS number 01-0404-002-02-00 in Council District 3. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
So moved by Councilor Newton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Cooper. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, ordinance passes. Ordinance 2554 to amend the comprehensive plan future land use map to reflect the redesignation of tax map parcel 01-0404-002-02-00 located on the southern side of Andrews off Chip Mill Road in Georgetown County from rural residential and conservation agriculture to employment in Council District 3. Ms. Richardson, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. Same tract. This is the accompanying future land use map change request.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any questions for Ms. Richardson? Hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion on ordinance 2554 to amend the comprehensive plan future land use map to reflect the redesignation of tax map parcel 01-0404-002-02-002-02-00 located on the southern side of Andrews off Chip Mill Road in Georgetown County from rural residential and conservation and agricultural to employment. Council District 3, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Charlton, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Cooper. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? The ordinance passes. We move down to ordinance 2555 to rezone two parcels located at 2 parcels totaling 1.39 acres located at 2401 North Fraser Street and 68 Jessamine Avenue in Georgetown from the Yawkey Medical Center Plan Development PD2 General Commercial TMS number 02-0103-031-01-00 and 02-0103-031-04-00 in Council District 7. Ms. Richardson.
Thank you. Both item E and F both address the Yawkey Medical Park PD and the PD amendment request. This PD was established in 2002 and was originally approved as a cancer care center. There's also a pain therapy center and various medical office buildings. It was again amended in 2007 to add 2 tracks south of Jessamine Avenue, and then it was again amended in 2013 to add an additional 1-acre parcel. The request that's before you tonight is to remove 2 of those parcels, or 1.39 acres, from the existing PD, which would leave a little over 23 acres in the PD, which obviously exceeds our minimum requirement. The proposed GC zoning allows for various commercial uses such as gas stations, drive-through restaurants, retail, garages, etc. The lot size minimum is 10,000 square feet with setbacks of 50 in the front, 10 on the side, and 15 in the rear. The future land use map does show this property as residential, so we are also recommending a future land use map amendment to the commercial corridor district to support the request. There was a public hearing held in November. There was no one but the applicant there to speak. The Planning Commission voted to recommend unanimous approval of the request, and they also voted to amend the future land use map from residential to core commercial. We haven't had any other changes since second reading.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Are there any questions for Ms. Richardson?
Who's the applicant? I didn't see it in the packet. Sorry, it might be in there.
Tradlands is the applicant as they're the current property owner. Mr. Stacy is the agent for the hospital.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions for Ms. Richardson? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion on ordinance 2555 to rezone 2 parcels totaling 1.39 acres located at 2401 North Fraser Street and 68 Jessamine Avenue in Georgetown from the Yawkey Medical Center Plan Development to General Commercial TMS 02-0103-031-01-00 and 02-0103-031-04-00 in Council District 7. Is there a motion on the floor?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I move for adoption of ordinance number 25-55.
Thank you, Counselor Morant. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Anderson. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed. Ordinance passes. Ordinance 2556, an ordinance to amend the comprehensive plan future land use map to reflect the redesignation of tax map parcel 02-0103-031-01-00 and 02-0103-031-04-00 located at 241 North Fraser Street and 68 Jessamine Avenue in Georgetown from residential to commercial corridor in District 7. Mr. Richardson.
Yes, same tracks. This is just the future land use map amendment to commercial.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any questions for Ms. Richardson on ordinance 2556? Here, Councilman Newton. Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion on ordinance 2556, an ordinance to amend the comprehensive plan future land use map to reflect the redesignation of tax map parcel 02-0103-031-01-00 and 02-0103-031-04-00 located at 2401 North Fraser Street and 68 Jessamine Avenue in Georgetown from residential to commercial corridor. Is there a motion on the floor?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I move for adoption of ordinance number 25-56.
Thank you, Councilman Morant. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Anderson. Or any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed. Ordinance passes. We move down to second reading of ordinances. Ordinance number 26-02 to rezone 4 parcels totaling approximately 32.5 acres located at 204 Green Bay Drive in Georgetown County from heavy industrial to forest agricultural. TMS number 02-0416. 017-02-00 and 02-0416-017-02-01 and 02-0416-017-00 in Council District 7. Ms. Richardson.
Yes, both items 9B and 9C both address this 32-acre parcel that is located to the east of Andrews in a section off Gapway Road and Green Bay Drive. The property owner is requesting to rezone this tract from HI to FA to allow for the addition of a single-family residential home on the property for their family. The current zoning, HI zoning, allows for anything that's allowed in the LI district with some additional industrial uses that are also included in HI. You can see the setbacks there. The minimum lot size in HI is 5 acres, and FA it's 1 acre. The surrounding zoning is HI to the west and FA to the north. There's also some half-acre zoning to the east and some MR10 to the south, so we have a pretty good mix of everything in this area. Water to this site is provided by the Georgetown County Water and Sewer District. Wastewater is handled by septic through the Department of Environmental Services. Gapway Road is a state road. Any encroachment for the future off that road would need permits from SCDOT. There's also a large electrical transmission line that runs through the track, and any required setbacks off of that would also need to be adhered to. We are kind of in reverse on this one than our previous one that we just talked about on Chip Mill Road. The future land use map here designates this property as employment, which does conflict with both the current residential use and the proposed residential use that the applicant is asking for. So a change for this large of a tract from employment to rural residential is warranted for the request. The rezoning request we feel is consistent for Mr. Merritt's property and other privately owned parcels in the vicinity because there are only residential uses in this area. We don't think it's considered spot zoning based on its large size. The Planning Commission met in December. There was no one that spoke except for the applicant, and the commission voted 5-0 to recommend approval for the request. They also voted to recommend approval for the map change, future land use map change, and if a second reading is given tonight, we will need a public hearing prior to third reading at the next meeting on the future land use map request.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Are there any questions for Ms. Richardson?
Just a comment, Ms. Richardson, you know the history of that piece of property, why it's zoned industrial?
I do not.
This real quick, the council, and back many years ago, some local businessmen in Andrews were kind of doing their own economic development, and that stretch was designated kind of like an industrial park, which never come to fruition and never developed. And so it's naturally, it should go back to residential use.
Well, that makes sense. I appreciate
No, but
knowing it.
that's a little, just a little history of that.
Thank you, Counselor Newton. Are there any further questions for Ms. Richardson? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion on ordinance 2602 to rezone 4 parcels totaling approximately 32.5 acres located at 204 Green Bay Drive in Georgetown County from heavy industrial to forest agricultural. TMS number 02-0416-017, -02-0002, -0416-017, -02-01, and 02-0416-017-00-00 in Council District 5. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
So moved by Councilor Newton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Cooper. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? Ordinance passes. Ordinance 2603 to amend the comprehensive plan future land use map to reflect the redesignation of TMS numbers 02-0416-017-02-00 and 02-0416-017-02-01 and 02-0416-017-00-00 from employment to rural residential, from employment to
That's correct.
rural residential, I apologize. Located at the southern side of Gateway Road near Andrews in Georgetown County, District 5. Ms. Richardson.
Yes, sir. Same track. This is just a future land use map change, as you said, from employment to rural residential to support the residential request.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any questions from Ms. Richardson? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to, on ordinance 2603 to amend the comprehensive plan, future land use map to reflect the redesignation of TMS numbers 02-0416-017-02-00 and 02-0416-017-02-01 and 02-0416-017-00-00 from employment to rural residential located on the southern side of Gapway Road near Andrews in Georgetown County District 5. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
So moved by Councilor Newton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, ordinance 2603 passes. Move down to first reading of ordinances. Note the following ordinance will be read into the record by title only. Ordinance 2604 to rezone 1 parcel located at 5177 Berkeley Court in Merle's Inlet, totaling approximately 1 acre from forest agriculture to 1/2 acre residential or R1/2. TMS numbers 41-0404-011-05-00 in Council District 6. Move down to approval of minutes. We were, the regular council meeting of January 13, 2026. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the minutes?
So moved.
So moved, Councilor Newton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Morant. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, the minutes are approved. We'll move down to executive session. Council will go into executive session to discuss negotiations related to proposed property acquisition pursuant to SC Code annotated 30-4-70A2 in accordance with the procedures of annotated 30-4-70B, with the understanding that upon return to open session, the council may take a vote on any matters discussion. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved.
So moved by Councilor Charles. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Mercado. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, we're now in executive session. We're back from executive session. Please note no actions or votes were taken during executive session. Is there a motion to return to open session?
So moved.
So moved by Counselor Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor McCotter. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. Welcome back. We're now back in open session. Is there any further business to come before council at this time?
Mr. Chair, I have a motion regarding the potential purchase of the land.
Bishop Cooper, is this the motion that Representative Moran, or Councilor Moran had to step out on?
Yes.
Okay. Councilor Moran, would you like to step out?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm moved to recuse myself.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I have a motion regarding the potential purchase of the land for possible airport use. I move to approve the proceeding with the appraisal and title work for the property known as S Fraser Street, subject to satisfactory finding after due diligence and reaching favorable term to authorize executing contract for proposed purchase at the price supported by the appraisal and other finding of due diligence, and to authorize the county administrator, county attorney, and other staff may be necessary to negotiate and take all action necessary to enter a contract and conduct the necessary due diligence to purchase the land and close the transaction.
Thank you, Councilor Cooper. You've heard the motion for Councilor Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Charlton. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? The motion carries. Somebody grab Councilor Morant real quick, please. Is there any further business to come before council at this time? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Councilor Charles. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Morant. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed? We stand adjourned.